Good morning, everyone. Hello. Ken is not with us today, so I'm opening the show. Today is Friday, March 15th, and instead of a national day, I decided to go back in history. So we're going to bring you something fun from 1869. So today on our show, we have United Update with Gary Morrison. We have Dan Oweiler with Sterling Financial, and he has some really interesting stuff to talk to us about. And then we have Richard Palmer with the Tea Party Sentinels. And then we're also going to bring you a segment with Wendy Miller from RE/MAX. Today we only have one meeting, and that is going to be with Third New Resident Orientation, and that will be from 9 o'clock in the morning. However, you do have to RSVP, so make sure you call 268-2040. All right, well, let me give you a little history from 1869. So in the mid to late 1860s, Cincinnati had two major baseball clubs. The Cincinnati Baseball Club, which was better known as the Red Stockings, and the Buckeye Baseball Club of Cincinnati. The former had superior leadership and was able to pay for premium talent, including a few former Buckeyes. The Cincinnati Red Stockings of 1869 were baseball's first openly all-professional team, with 10 salaried players. $10,000 for 10 players. Wow, what a change from it is today. They traveled across the country where they defeated all opponents, spread the glory of professional baseball from coast to coast, and put Cincinnati on the sporting map. The Red Stockings' 57-0 season made them one of baseball's greatest legends and earned Cincinnati the distinction of the birthplace of professional baseball. They didn't lose a game until June of 1870 after 81 straight wins. The club folded at the end of 1870 season for financial reasons, and thanks partly to their on-field success and the continental scope of their tours, the Red Stockings established styles in team uniforms and team nicknames that have some currency even now. They also established a particular color, red, for Cincinnati, and they provide the ultimate origin of the use of Red Sox in Boston. This year was their 150th anniversary, and the Cincinnati Reds will play games in 15 sets of their throwback uniforms. And as you see on the screen, there is a couple of them there. And as an FYI, the Angels' home opener is next month, April 4th. So now to our weather. Oh, it is just gorgeous. I am so excited to have sun, and more sun. So it's going to be beautiful, mostly in the 70s and even the 80s in some locations. So as you can see, we're going to be looking pretty good. A little offshore winds, 75, 51, and then Saturday, sunny and breezy, 78, 54. Sunday, 80, 54, and Monday, 77, 52, and then we're going to cool down just a little bit, 71, 53, do some cloud cover, and then around town, North Coast, 61 degrees, mostly sunny, Central Coast, 74, San Diego, 79, it's going to be beautiful. Mammoth, 47, 20, and we know there's tons of snow there. Big Bear, 50, 27, beautiful spring skiing, I'm sure, and Palm Springs, where Ken is, 81. He's going to enjoy some beautiful weather. So a mostly sunny weekend around the state with milder to warmer weathers. And as I mentioned yesterday, the butterflies are still flying through. So I'm sure many of you probably have yellow spots all over the front of your car. So have a great day and come on back. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Kiana Lee. Today we're talking to Dr. Chuck Lee of 7-Day Dental. Today's topic is dental implants. Doctor, what do we need to know about dental implants?
Well, when you lose a tooth, you lose bone. With a dental implant, it maintains your bone, and it's an easy procedure. We are open 7 days a week, 365 days a year for all your dental needs.
Thank you, doctor. So come on in and get your 7-Day Dental smile.
Your body is made for work, play, and adventure. All the things that make life amazing. But when pain gets in the way, turn to Hoag Orthopedic Institute to get you back to doing the things you love. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we're experts at getting you out of pain and back to golf, running, or yoga. Whatever makes you, you.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
The eye care experts at Harvard Eye Associates have been treating the vision of patients in Southern California for over 30 years. As a leader in multi-specialty eye care, our doctors specialize in cataracts, glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK vision correction, oculoplastics, and diabetic eye care. As an approved FDA research center, our doctors offer surgical techniques and technology not available to the general public. Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today. Laguna Hills, San Clemente. Call 800-974-EYES.
Welcome back. Gary Morrison is here to give us a United Mutual Finance update, and he has a lot of numbers to go over, don't you? As you always do.
I do.
All right, well, we're going to let you just start, and you let us know what's going on.
You all call when you get bored, and then I will leave. Okay, our income statement as of January the 31st, 2019, our total revenues were $3,517,000. Our expenses were $3,214,000. So we had revenue over expenses of $303,000. The income statement as of January 31st, we had net revenue over expenses of $466,000. United was better than budget by $466,000, primarily in outside services. And a lot of this was the timing of reserve programs, because when we budget for the whole year, but when you start out at the beginning of the year, it's going to look like you're better, and that'll offset towards the end of the year. Utilities and telephone, we had decreased water costs due to all the rainfall that we've had. We have some unfavorable variances that included materials and supplies, so we had additional purchase of plumbing tools, but there again, those tools then will be used all year, so that kind of works its way out also. Our non-assessment revenues were $149,287, and 38% of those were fees charged to residents. We had 24%, which was interest income. We had 15% laundry and 7% miscellaneous. Our total expenses, $3,214,267. 40% of that was employee compensation, 28% property and sales tax, 10% material and supplies, 7% utilities and telephone, and 7% outside services. So our operating fund, without depreciation, we had assessment revenues of $2,337,000, non-assessment revenues of $113,000. That gives us total revenues of $2,450,000, with total expenses of $2,305,000, and that gives us an operating surplus of $163,000. Our non-operating fund balances, we had beginning balances of $21,713,000. We had contributions and interest of $1,067,000 and expenditures of $910,000, so our current balance now is $21,870,000. Our balance sheet as of January 31st, 2019, we had a current month end of $79,858,521. Our prior year, December of 2018, was $77,982,230. So our balance sheet increase to date was $1,876,291. Our delinquency report for United, we had 22 delinquencies at $113,793. Our prior month was 18 at $105,494, so we went up 4 and we're up $8,299. We have 1 lien that needs to be recorded. We had 2 files that were submitted to legal counsel, 4 files with our collection agency, 6 files with NCB, and we have 1 lender for closure, and we have 8 that are maintaining a balance below $1,800, at which point we don't act till they get up to $1,800. We had chargeable services delinquency report as of February 25th, 2019. Our current month count, we had 20 at $121,785. Our prior month was 20 at $106,486. So we're up $15,299 from the previous month. Our resales as of February 2019, year to date 39, and our resales last year to date 44. So we were down 5 sales or 11.4%. Our sales volume as of February 2019 is 9,538,300. Our sales volume as of February 2018 was 12,073,640. So we're down $2,535,340, or down 21%. Now I've heard some realtors that were at our meeting Tuesday were very concerned because our sales are down. As I stressed at that meeting, sales are down all over the county, all over the state. So it's not something that's just happening here.
Yes.
Our average resale price this year to date, $245,230. Last year was $275,015, so we're down almost $30,000 or 10.8%. Our monthly leasing is at 9%, and that has stayed the same as previous months. We are currently putting together a study group to review the solar package and ascertain if United is receiving the monies they were promised by the electric companies. The group is comprised of Reza Bastani, Andre Tong, Sue Margolis, and Manuel. They will be setting their first meeting. They'll be electing a president, and we'll be delving into the contracts to see where we stand, what we've earned, what we haven't earned. So we'll see what we have to do from there. Next was a payment plan for chargeable services. There will be an administrative fee for repayment of monetary penalties, fees, or chargeable services, or for chargeable services. The undersigned will pay an administrative fee of $25 every month that the agreement is in effect, plus 10% interest on any outstanding balance. The undersigned will be responsible for payment of attorney's fees, costs, interest, late fees, and assessments incurred on the undersigned owner's assessment account before this agreement, and the undersigned's assessment account will be deemed paid in full. We had additional funding for a full reserve study. We have not had a reserve study for, I think, 6-7 years. And so it was deemed that that one was necessary. So on February 28, 2019, the Board of Directors awarded a contract to Association Reserves to provide labor and materials required to perform a Level 2 reserve study at a cost of $50,000, authorizes a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $10 to be funded from the replacement reserve fund, in addition to the $40 that was appropriated by Resolution 01-18-120. We had issued that RFP for $40,000, but that reserve study came in at $50,000, so we were low, and that's why we had to approve additional funding.
All right.
Standard plan architectural review. We are at a point every month we're reviewing to see what plans that we can, or alterations that we can work into a plan where they're just automatically approved, so that we're not having to go through board approval all the time to save everyone time and money. Private caregiver policy. Private caregiver policy, we just passed that at the board meeting. And I'm going to read you the conditions for private caregiver that was approved. They must be 18 years old or older. Private caregivers must be registered with California Department of Social Services Home Care Services Bureau. Caregivers must provide a copy of a government-issued photo ID with an application. They must provide a copy of their driver's license, vehicle registration, proof of vehicle insurance with the application if he or she will be operating a vehicle within Laguna Woods Village. A private caregiver permit is approved for a period of up to 1 year. Residents are required to reapply for approval. The total number of persons residing in a unit shall not exceed the number of bedrooms plus one, and no more than 2 persons in 1 bedroom unit. No more than 3 persons in a 2-bedroom unit. Each private caregiver shall not have been convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor involving moral turpitude, fraud, perjury, or criminal threats. The member is responsible for the conduct of the private caregiver and shall ensure that he or she complies with community rules, regulations, and policies. Upon approval by the board, the authorized designee will receive a gate pass, and that will permit them to access the community. It must be displayed on their car dashboard at all times, and the pass may include an overnight parking pass when necessary. Caregiver must wear in clear sight a picture ID at all times. Gate pass may not be transferred or lent to anyone else. Community facilities only as necessarily incidental to provide support to the resident. Part-time caregivers may use laundry facilities only for the residents' use only. Live-in private caregivers may use the facilities for their limited personal use and the residents' use. If the resident is absent from the unit due to hospitalization or other necessary medical treatment and expects to return within 90 days from the date the absence began, the caregiver may remain in the unit. Private caregivers are not permitted to bring family members or pets or guests into the community. They must submit their private care ID and vehicle pass at the conclusion of their service. They must meet all the applicable GRF requirements relating to operating a motor vehicle. Caregivers employed by a licensed home care organization, HCO, are required to obtain a business pass, and a person living in the residence is required to provide short-term care must obtain a 60-day caregiver pass. Anything beyond the 60 days must adhere to the private caregiver policy.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And I understand that there was some discussion concerning the age. So how did everybody feel about that?
It was very mixed on that. There are several board members that were concerned that this is a 55 and up community and that we should not be having these younger people living here. The other side of it was that if that is needed for the people, that we need to provide it.
Right.
There are just a lot of back and forth pros and cons, so I don't know that there's a right or a wrong way.
Yeah, well, I guess you have to give it a try, and then if it doesn't work out, you can make changes later.
Exactly. Payment plan for delinquent assessments. The United Governing Docs Committee requested changes to the draft plan. The payment plan is on a case-by-case basis, and the mutual is under no obligation to grant requests. Finance Committee voted to initiate an interest rate of 10% per year and a one-time administration fee of $50 per year. We also have a damage reimbursement administration. We were busy.
I guess. Well, you have pages.
Yes. So on January 21st, 2019, at Executive Hearings Committee, a motion was made and carried unanimously to recommend that the board approve a damage restoration fee. This is to impose a monetary charge as a means of reimbursing the association for costs incurred by the association in the repair of damage to common area facilities that are caused by a member or a member's guest. So the committee voted unanimously to impose a 10% reimbursement cost for anything over $1,000 in damage. Fumigation, we authorized a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $104,762 from the contingency fund, in addition to the operating budget. The original program was estimated at which was budgeted, and now there are a number of buildings that we didn't figure that are requiring tenting for termites, so we had to give a supplemental appropriation of $104,762. Guarantors, it's in discussion right now. It's being rewritten because the board had several questions that popped up at our board meetings. So the next meeting will probably have a guarantor policy in place. Okay. United has purchased 20 dryers from Third because Third is going to coin operated. So we decided to buy them from Third if they're 5 years old or younger. And so we are saving about $600 per dryer by doing that. Yeah. I want to encourage everyone to get an HO6 insurance policy. This will isolate you from I'm going to give you an example of something that just happened where some people had a flood, lived on the second floor. The water went down into the 2 units down below them. They all had to move out for like 6 months.
Oh, wow.
If they did not have insurance, and the cost was $300,000 in repairs, plus they have to pay for their hotel for that amount of time. So an HO6 policy would take care of all of this, and so I just encourage all of you to look into it. As I've said in every broadcast, I think for the last year, I have been into our it's our sewer lines, and I've moved that up from 12 years to 6 years, and that was basically because 2 years ago we were paying $1.5 million for water cleanup. last year was $1.1 million, and now we're on trend for maybe 800,000, so it's coming down. And then that extra money we can throw into the other things that we need.
Right.
I want to say that the Finance Committee now has an investment policy task force made up of Michael Cunningham, myself, Diane Phelps, Steve Leonard, Jack Connolly, and Greg Corigliano. We're in the preliminary stages right now. I want the community to know that our investments are our #1 concern. We want to make sure that we're working with a vendor who's giving us the best for our money. Funding for supply lines. We haven't really done a whole lot of advancement here because we did not have the expense that we had with waistline. So I've kind of was using that supply line money and running it over into the waistline. And so now that we're catching up on that, we're addressing funding for supply line, which is going to be starting this year. And the handyman program, we're at capacity. It's
so popular.
It's gone crazy.
It's wonderful.
So we don't have enough people to handle all the calls at this point. Electric panel replacements outside, we are trying to get into that also. All of this is just the necessity of having the funds to do it.
Exactly.
And basically, that's all I have.
Well, that was a lot. You guys are so busy. You know, I don't normally interview you, and so when I don't hear the report, but it's just astonishing to me how much money you guys have to go through for the community.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, thank you. You're doing a fabulous
Well,
job.
thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
All right, so don't forget that you can always get this report every Friday on This Day. We'll be right back.
Dr. Farman Cosmetic and Implant Dentistry is located right outside Gate 6 and has been keeping the village smiling for many years.
I have really learned to love Dr. Farmer through the years, almost 20 years now that she's been my dentist. And I highly recommend her to anyone here in Laguna Woods or in Orange County looking to establish a relationship with a dentist who will be there for them and take care of all of their dental needs.
Near Snooty Fox Restaurant behind Coco's.
Individual care, specialized care. At Harvard Eye Associates, your vision and quality of life can be trusted to a group of specialists that provide advanced technology for the treatment of cataracts, including laser-assisted surgery, a broad range of intraocular lenses, and astigmatism correction. Come join the circle of care at Harvard Eye Associates, where the future of vision is today.
Are you looking for a better way to manage your medication? MedBox by AmeriPharma has redefined the pharmacy experience. No more pill organizers and vials. When we fill your prescriptions, you get all your medications conveniently packaged by the dose and delivered to your door at no additional cost. This means no change in insurance, copays, or out-of-pocket expenses. Call our specialists today and discover the new way of pharmacy. MedBox by AmeriPharma.
Remember when life was simpler? When things didn't move quite so fast, and the world didn't seem so complex? Remember that? We do. And as the world around us has continued to speed up, becoming more complicated and still a bit uncertain, we have managed to keep things simple, providing sound, easy to understand financial advice and customized roadmaps for the road ahead, from tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, backed by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. We can be your single point of contact, a single call, a voice you recognize well, and a partner who can be by your side for the entire journey. We can't stop the world around us, but we can help ensure you're prepared for what's to come. To schedule a no-obligation meeting, simply contact us today.
Welcome back. I have Dan Oweiler here, who's with Sterling Financial, and I actually told him I was excited about this subject because I really don't know much about Social Security.
Well, Lisa, if you get excited about Social Security, it's not hard to impress you then.
Well, anyway, so what's going on with Social Security? Are there new things we need to know?
Well, I don't know if there's things you need to know, but sometimes people aren't aware of some of the benefits or how you qualify for benefits, and so I thought maybe one of the interesting things is what allows spouses to qualify for benefits, because sometimes spouses may not work. They might be raising children or whatever it might be, and there's actually spousal benefits that you can receive, you know, as a wife or a partner, so to speak. The first requirement, however, is your working spouse has to qualify for benefits.
Right.
You don't just get benefits just because you're a spouse. So they qualify for benefits.
Okay.
And it used to be you could file for benefits, suspend, and then your spouse could receive their benefits. They don't allow you to do that anymore.
Oh.
Okay. They used to call it file and suspend. And so what they do is they took that loophole away because people were filing just so their spouses could start getting a benefit. And they took that out. So in order for a spouse to get benefits, the other spouse has to, or partner has to be taking benefits themselves.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Normal retirement age depends upon you know, when you were born. Okay, it started out at 65. The original date was 65. It went to 66. Then it went to 66 and a half. Now it's 67. And
people are living longer. What are you going to do?
Well, it's not so much living longer. It's just that they project Social Security will run out in 2034. Nice. And so, unfortunately, we do this on our seminar. When Social Security first came into play, there were 42 workers working for every one that was on Social Security. So most of the population was working, there was less on Social Security. Well, because of the baby boomer generation, there's 10,000 baby boomers retiring every day. 80 million over the next decade. And so the number of Social Security, or people receiving Social Security, has increased significantly. And so now there's only 3 workers supporting one person on Social Security. So it went from 43 down to 3. And so Social Security, you know, they're going to have to do some things, and they're always trying to tighten up some loopholes, and this spousal benefit is kind of some of the ways they've done this. They're going to have to make some changes one way or the other.
Right.
You know, they've thrown out ideas anywhere from making it means-based, so people like you who make lots of money that won't get Social Security, you know.
Oh,
but,
you jest.
But and in order to receive a spousal benefit, the earliest you can do that is age 62. So, so at age 62, you can start taking that, but it's going to be reduced. Okay.
All right. Yep. And then, so the maximum spousal benefit is how much?
The maximum spousal benefit is 50% of what they call the full retirement benefit. So at age 66 or 66 and a half, whatever it is, you can get full retirement benefits.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about offsetting work or anything like that. So let's assume that somebody at age 66 is receiving $2,000 a month, just for discussion purposes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The spouse can receive half of that, okay, if they wait till age 66.
Okay.
Okay. If they take it at age 62, that would be reduced.
Okay.
Okay. So the maximum amount is what it is age 66. If the working, or if the spouse decides to delay their benefit till age 70, that benefit increases at 8% every year.
Okay.
But the spouse does not get 50% of the higher amount. It's their normal working or retirement age benefit.
All right. And so what would happen once let's say I was married and my husband passes away.
Okay.
And then and they were taking retirement at that time.
Okay, so
then what happens to the
husband was getting $2,000, the wife was getting $1,000.
Right.
The husband passes away. The wife gets to choose which benefit she wants.
Well, that wouldn't be a hard choice.
Well, normally it isn't, but sometimes the wife has worked.
Oh, I see.
And has a higher benefit than the husband.
Oh,
and so she would keep her own benefit and let her husband's go away.
All right. And then what if the wife never worked?
She gets to choose
Again.
either her or her husband's. Obviously, we would hope she would choose the $2,000.
Right.
But in that regard, she does lose 33% of her Social Security income.
Oh,
so
wow, okay.
Income planning is part of all this process, but you know, it's Social Security tends to play an important part, but it wasn't meant to do that.
Right.
What it was meant to do was be kind of a safety net for people in retirement. And it came as a result of the Depression and all the people that were in the Depression.
Right.
They brought in Social Security, but it wasn't meant to be our sole means of...
Well, right, and now a lot of people are relying just on that because they haven't put anything away.
That's correct.
Right.
And so sometimes we will recommend people start taking it at age 62. If you take it at age 62, you're going to get a discount. Okay, if you wait till age 70, you're going to get a bonus type of thing.
Right.
We've encouraged people to take at age 62 because they have no other income coming in.
Right, exactly.
But if you have the means of other assets or retirement accounts that you can pull in income to and allow you to delay your Social Security, it's a guaranteed return of, 8% on your money while you're delaying that.
I've often noticed that many people are now working longer because they can.
Right.
So they're not drawing on any Social Security at all. So
Correct.
if you can work, obviously work longer, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The more you put into it, obviously the higher your benefits.
Right.
They take it off the top 30 years of your working career, the income you've paid in over that period of time.
Okay.
There's a maximum you pay in. I think it's $115,000 right now. I'm not sure. It might have gone up with inflation, but $115,000. That's the maximum you put in each year towards your, or as far as taxable income goes. But if you make $150,000. You're going to pay the same into Social Security as a person that makes $300,000.
So that's where they might change.
So,
right?
So they're talking about why should people that are currently millionaires or billionaires get Social Security?
Right.
They don't need it. The fund could use the extra money, but they've also paid into the plan over that period of time. They say, hey, it's really my money that I've paid into it. So. There's a dichotomy there that, Warren Buffett doesn't need Social Security, but he's still paid into the system.
Right. Well, the other thing is that, I lost my thought. Where you're paying, like you said, you're paying into it. Well, what would happen if they said, well, now they're going to charge you more each year, right? Because if it's only 3 to 1, they can charge you more now.
Well, there's going to be some changes, and those changes are probably going to hit those people that are 55 and younger, okay?
Yeah.
And so I have boys working with me, they're 30 years old, they're not even concerned about Social Security right now. They're worried about getting into a house or who they're going to marry or whatever it's going to do. And so, you know, the changes are probably going to impact them. They might have to work till age 70 before they can get it. Or, you know, they might have to put more into the plan. But if you talk to the people right now in Congress and they try to take the Social Security away from the people that are already receiving it,
yeah, no way.
they'd be voted out of office very quickly.
Exactly.
You know, it's very touchy for those people that are already receiving it.
Of course, and if that was me, I would be like, no.
So the benefits will probably affect people that are still working, that are younger, and those things. But I think that it'll always be around, but it might become eventually means tested. If you're making over $100,000 without Social Security off your pension or retirement plans, maybe you're not going to get it, or you get 50% benefit or whatever it be. But they're going to have to make some changes. The nice thing about it, though, is there are benefits for spouses. I had a client in the other day, and they didn't realize that the spouse, she had been working all of her life, he had been working all of his life. He didn't realize that he could file for benefits and the wife could still get benefits from his, get the 50% benefit, let hers accumulate it to age 70 and then get the higher amount. So there's some planning that you can do. Divorce spouses, if they've been married longer than 10 years, have an opportunity to claim on their husband's spouses or a husband's Social Security, and so there's some planning that you can do in regards to income planning.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you for this great information.
Well, it's a lot of information, but you know.
That's right. That's why you're here every Friday, because there's so much to say. All right, thank you.
All right, good to be here.
And remember, if you have any questions about the subject that we talked about today, you can always go to sterlingfa.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome to South County Adult Day Services. Conveniently located right here in Laguna Woods, we provide a safe, secure environment where you or your loved one can spend the day. Come socialize with friends, engage in enriching activities, receive the expert care you need, and participate in fun hobbies. Improve your mental and physical health and maintain your independence. We even take care of transportation. For a free tour, call us at 949-855-9444 or visit us at our center between El Toro and Moulton Parkway right next to the Olive Garden.
My name is Angela. I'm 51 years old and I was diagnosed with a heart murmur. Before the surgery, I was struggling to breathe. I was missing out a lot on playing with my son. I decided to go to Hoag from Nevada to have my mitral valve repair because the surgeons there are excellent.
My personal approach to patient care is really taking care of a patient as if they were a member of my family.
After the surgery, I can chase him and run around and play with him as much as he wants. It's like a miracle. It's like this patient made it through the toughest time in their life, and it's an awesome feeling.
The feeling to see these patients recover, especially when they're critically ill like that, it's just the best feeling in the world.
We wanted this to be one of the top cardiovascular centers in the region, the state, the nation, and to be recognized for that. We've achieved that.
If I had to go back and make the same choice, I would choose Hoag again. They treated me like family. This changed my life, and now I get to be with my son.
Today, patients have many options for their care, whether it's their private doctor, in urgent care, retail clinics, nursing advice lines, and even telemedicine. So while patients do have many options for their medical problems today, some conditions, such as heart attack, stroke, and sepsis, truly need immediate care in the emergency department. Every minute does count. We're here ready to help 24/7, 365 days a year at Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center Emergency Department.
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation.
Welcome back. We have Richard Palmer, who's here with the Tea Party Sentinels, and he's going to talk about a variety of different subjects, as well as your meeting that's coming up.
That's right.
Well, great. Well, go ahead and you just tell us what you need to say.
Well, okay. Well, we have Mark Angus. He's
he's very active politically, but I didn't realize he has two separate charities. One is to get Asian Americans to come to get involved in the community. And the other one is Past the Beacon. He's trying to get, he's trying to fight the onslaught of conservatives on college campuses. So those are his two main organizations.
Sure.
But what he's going to be talking about is really an issue that is really becoming kind of frightful in schools, especially it's getting down to almost second grade students, which is outrageous. But California passed a law without any community involvement in allowing the LGBT people to have free access to all the showers, the locker rooms, toilets, everything. And this has been a real disaster because, I mean, can you imagine a guy walking into a girl's shower room and there's nothing anybody can do because the law allows them to do that? I mean, this is outrageous. So he's getting real involved in that situation. But it's not just school, it's affecting a lot of other lives also. For instance, you have women athletes, they're competing against men that think they're women. Their bone structures are more solid, their muscles, their lung capacity, their endurance. I mean, this is ridiculous. And yet the LGBT people are winning races because they have the strength of men, and yet they're competing with women. This is totally uncalled for. That's just in athletics. Then you have the military. President Trump just he announced that he will not allow any LGBT people to get involved in the military, except with a few exceptions. And here again, we have a situation where these people coming in and they're demanding to be operated on to change their sexual organs. I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, that's really going beyond the pale. But that's what's happening. So it's a threat to all humanity. And I think the people that should be teaching the children about the proper way of acting is not in the schools, it should be done by parents. And that's a big issue. So you have all these lives that are affected because California is the only state right now that makes it legal for LGBT people to enter any bathroom. So it's just outrageous. So that's what he's going to be talking about.
Okay.
It's really I mean, it's a real serious issue. You can't deny the fact that these people are getting more and more power. Now, I'm not saying that all LGBT people are involved in this movement. I know, in fact, some associates of mine are LGBT. I thought nothing of it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're just another individual. But they're not actively pushing themselves into this society like they're, I mean, this is, I just can't explain it. It's just ridiculous.
Right.
So I have a sympathy for them if they don't get involved in these drives to become more organized or legitimate to society. There's no way they can be classified as normal, but that's what they're trying to do.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about when your meeting is.
Okay.
The meeting is going to be coming up here on, what day is it? Going to be Monday, so that's this coming Monday, March 25th. Actually, no, it's next Monday.
Yeah, right.
So a week from Monday.
Yeah.
And that'll be at 7 p.m. at Clubhouse 7. So your doors open at 6:30.
Right.
So, and does it usually fill up, or you have limited seating?
No, well, we can always allow more.
Okay.
It's open there, anybody can come in.
Yes.
We don't charge a fee, although we do ask for contributions to help cover our overhead expenses.
Sure. Is it an interactive kind of meeting where people can ask questions?
Yeah, well, the speaker delivers his speech.
Okay.
And then we have a roving mic.
Oh, good.
The people in the audience can ask any questions they want.
All right. Well, fantastic.
So it works out. I think people would be, I don't know how this community will look at it, because, we're not exactly in the 20s or 30s. So I don't know how they're going to react, but they should be concerned about their grandkids and their family members, because those are the people that are going to be affected by it.
Those are our legacy. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
All right.
It was
We'll
a
see you
pleasure.
next time. And remember, if you have any questions about the meeting or anything that the Tea Party Sentinels do, you can go to teapartysentinels.com. We'll be right back.
It's never too late to improve your health with exercise. Challenge yourself to get moving in the morning. Hi, I'm Susan Tuttle. I'd like to encourage you to tune in to Channel 6 each weekday mornings at 7:55. 30 minutes of daily exercise will add years to your life. What are you waiting for? Come join me.
Parkinson's disease is a neurological movement disorder affecting an estimated 1 million Americans, including many under age 40. It has no cure. Parkinson's is not limited to how a person moves. It can also cause symptoms like depression, fatigue, and impaired speech. Today, there is a new diagnosis every 9 minutes, though Parkinson's can be present for years before being diagnosed. The American Parkinson Disease Association is the largest grassroots network in the United States, working to help ease the burden and find the cure. For more than 50 years, APDA has funded pioneering research and provided critical support to those affected by Parkinson's. Visit apdaoptimism.org today to find out how you can help millions live with dignity and optimism. Your action today will help APDA put an end to Parkinson's disease.
I just love that ring. Where'd you get it?
I got it at the Jewelry Box. I saw it on Facebook, and then I went in and bought it. They have the most unique, awesome pre-owned pieces for amazing prices.
The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest, voted best jewelry store in Orange County for 8 straight years, offering unmatched prices on fine jewelry and watches, refurbished to new condition.
Visit us in our store or shop our website for just arrived items.
The Jewelry Box. It's about trust.
Welcome back. Our movies today and Monday are some really good ones. The Nutcracker and the Four Realms looks very fun, kind of a family movie. Young Clara needs a magical one-of-a-kind key to unlock a box that contains a priceless gift. A golden thread leads her to the coveted key, but it soon disappears into a strange and mysterious parallel world. In that world, she meets a soldier named Philip, a group of mice, and the regents who preside over 3 realms. Clara and Philip must now enter a 4th realm to retrieve the key and restore harmony to the unstable land. So obviously it is an expansion of the Nutcracker, but it's trying to tell the story as a whole. And of course, they always have to put the Hollywood spin on it. So it looks good. It's got Mackenzie Foy, Keira Knightley, and Morgan Freeman, who I just love. That'll be today at 2 and 7. And then on Monday, we have Mary, Queen of Scots. And I saw this movie, and I actually really liked it. They do a very good job with it. And it is about Mary Stuart's attempt to overthrow her cousin, Elizabeth I, the Queen of England. finds her condemned to years of imprisonment before facing execution. Mary, Queen of Scots, explores the turbulent life of the charismatic Mary Stuart, Queen of France at 16 and widowed at 18. Mary defies pressure to remarry. Instead, she returns to a native Scotland to reclaim her rightful throne. But Scotland and England fall under the rule of the compelling Elizabeth I. Each young queen beholds her sister in fear and fascination. Now, it's interesting, they say cousin, sister, you know, back then that could be both. So it has Saoirse Ronan, Margot Robbie, and Jack Lowden, and that will be on Monday at 2 and 6 p.m. I wanted to make sure you guys didn't forget that at the Towers they are having their Sunday brunch. The cost is $26, and you do need a reservation. So if you really would like to participate, I would get on that as soon as possible, and you can call 949-597-4278, and they're going to have all the classic brunch items to include, you know, eggs Benedict, omelets to order, sparkling apple cider, you know, all the yummy things. And then they also have the hotel style living buyer and realtor reception that will be coming up also on Sunday right after the brunch, so you don't want to miss that. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. Oh boy, I don't think it's changed much since I told you this morning, and all I can say, it's going to be sun, and more sun. And it's going to be in the high 70s, low 80s in many places. So we've got 74, 51 today, Saturday 78, 54, Sunday gorgeous 80, 54, Monday 77, and Tuesday 71. And around town, it's also you know, beautiful. If you're going to Big Bear, it's going to be 50, spring conditions up there. Mammoth 47, 20, beats the heck out of 9. And then Palm Springs 81 and 56. Mostly sunny weekend all the way around with beautiful temps. So have, oh, let me tell you who's coming on Monday. We have Radnet, who will be on, and it actually is a really great piece because it highlights a young man who's 26 years old who was diagnosed with lymphoma and how Radnet Radiology helped him out. And then we have Transportation, Liz Cortez coming on, and then we will also have additional segments for that day. So have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.